To this story now, eThekwini too will experience the blackouts after being exempt for months following the devastating floods. eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli is covering the story for us and joins us now. Good morning, Lethiwe. So eThekwini now will also be in the dark.
Of course, Mfundo, but the good news for eThekwini is that load shedding will only affect residents from stage 4. And right now I'm actually joined by the head of electricity in eThekwini Metro. I want to bring him in and ask about these very important questions as to how businesses will be affected. Mr. Max Hongtembe, thank you so much for joining us at eNCA. My first question is, what is the update in regards to the load shedding? We know that eThekwini will only be affected from stage 4 moving up in those stages.
Thank you, Sis Lethiwe. Greetings to you and to all your viewers at home. Maybe let me just give the update of what happened from the previous interview that we had with eNCA. From that time till now, we did produce a schedule of load shedding, which we did by the 15th of July, and we published it. And it was to begin on the 1st of August, and it's true, it did begin. But there was no load shedding on the 1st of August, only up to today. So today we're going to have our first load shedding in Durban, just starting at 4 o'clock. Now, I know that the country already started earlier on with stage 2, and we're not participating, like you pointed out. We're not going to participate on stage 2 load shedding, or even stage 3. We're going to start on stage 4. People must go and check our schedule that we've published. They can see that what used to be our stage 1 previously is what we're now pushing on to stage 4. So they must check and see the areas that are listed them. And of course, there are areas that are now excluded officially from load shedding totally. That were on stage 1 before. Areas like Maran Ridge, areas like Shallcross and so forth, and all the other big businesses that were affected by the storm, where our substations were submerged with the water and the production is not functioning. So it's not technically possible to do load shedding on those substations. It's not because we love them or they made noise before. It's simply because, technically speaking, it is not possible to do it. And we also agreed with ESCOM and National Control that even those substations that we deem to be okay to do load shedding on, which are starting today, should there be any problem technically that is going to arise from them, we will make a decision actually to stop load shedding until we see what the problem is and fix the problem, and then we move on. And I must say so that eThekwini is still committed to work with ESCOM and with National Control to continue with load shedding and participate and help National Grid and make sure it does not collapse. But we're not going to do so when we know that we're also collapsing the grid of eThekwini municipality. So we've got that understanding with engineers in ESCOM and engineers also in National Control.
Talking about collapsing the grid, of course, there were many areas that were affected by the floods after April, and that's the reason why eThekwini was exempt from load shedding. Where is the update with those places where infrastructure is still being fixed?
Okay, let's first correct the other word of exempt. We are not exempted by ESCOM. ESCOM does not exempt anyone on load shedding. So we were not. We wrote a report to ESCOM and National Control and told them our situation, and then told them we could not participate because of those problems. But now we're better off than before. So now, coming back to answer your question, where are we now with the update on the fixing those substations? We've commenced in fixing most of our substations, but again, some of these substations, they were bent beyond repairs and we're starting from scratch. So right now we're running temporary substations. It will take us about 3 years to come to the finality of fixing of all our substations. So we are just urging that people must just persevere with us, especially our customers, that we are going to be building in their areas. We're going to rebuilding these substations. We've started already. In some stations we're putting some protection, in others we're building even the buildings and putting new equipment inside them.
You also mentioned that some big businesses that were affected by the floods will not be load shedded. Take me through some of those businesses. I know that Toyota in Isipingo was affected. Which other businesses will not be affected by this?
Look, actually, if you look at our schedule, you will see that those who were in load shedding stage 1 before are not businesses. Even stage 2 are not businesses. There may be some commercial small businesses like tuck shops and small shops that are affected because they were on load schedule stage 1 and 2. But those who were not on stage 1 and 2, they're still not going to be affected because they were not affected even before. Like now, we're on stage 4. I'm implementing a previous stage 1. So that means those who are not on stage 1 are not going to be affected. So the big businesses, like the one that you just mentioned, Toyota, they were only only affected only on stage 3 and upwards. So they are not going to come in them. But again, even if they were going to come in there, but we're going to exclude Toyota for the obvious reasons that substation was also affected by the floods. So there's no way that technically we can do load shedding in that substation. But there are others like Sapref that are still not functioning 100%, and there are others like Monday as well that are not yet fully functioning, or because of our limitation as a municipality, we are not able to do that kind of load shedding in their substations. And unfortunately, even the people now who are so close to them are going to benefit out of this problem that we have. So those who are going to be now in a way not experience load shedding is not because we love them better than others. It's simply because technically it's not possible to do so. But also we've gone further than that. One of our reasons that we recommended, that we put as our recommendations to national control, was the water reservoirs that are affected even today. I'm sure that even today I was hearing on the news that water in Durban is still a problem up to now. For the next actually year and a half from now, most of the water reservoirs are going to be excluded as well, and also the sewer pumps are going to be excluded from load shedding. And those customers who are sharing the load with those customers, whether it's a water reservoir and sewer pumps, are also going to be excluded simply because the feed that is feeding the water pumps or reservoir is also feeding those customers. So now people must not then say those people are being favored by us. They are not favored because they're sharing the same feeder and they're sharing the same load with the other loads that are going to be excluded. Therefore, they're going to be having this lack of not having load shedding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, Mfundo, that is, of course, Maxwell Mthembu, who's the head of electricity here in eThekwini, just taking us through some of the plans that the municipality has for those affected areas. Of course, eThekwini was exempted from load shedding in April, and that's because of the floods that took place. Majority of the infrastructure, especially the electricity infrastructure, was affected during the floods. He has shared a plan that they have put in place for some of those affected places not to experience load shedding. He is also saying that some big businesses will not be affected moving forward because there are still some actions being done there where they are fixing that infrastructure.
All right, Lethiwe, leave it there for now. Thank you very much for that update. That is reporter Lethiwe Mdluli.